This is Byron Gordon for the SES Conference Channel. It is day one at SES London. We are live and we're speaking to Paul Mead of VCCP Search. Paul, we just finished the IAB search panel, and I wanted to ask you, your presentation was about how to select a search agency.
Yeah.
So maybe you can share with our audience here the first steps, the first questions one has to ask yourself when you're going to consider hiring an agency.
Yeah, absolutely. I think what's important before you start asking any potential partners questions is to get really straight in your head what you're looking to achieve, what your objectives are in terms of either changing your existing partner in search or what you're looking for if it's your first agency appointment. And be really clear about those objectives. Be really realistic about your resources as well. You know, what kind of skill levels you've got in-house in terms of search expertise, but also thinking about content development, especially from a natural search engine optimization point of view. You know, unless you can produce the content and you've also got some technical abilities within your own team in order to execute the recommendations that a partner might put in, you know, there's only going to be a limited amount of success that you can have. So being realistic about your resources, I think, is really important. Similarly with budgets as well. And you know, looking at what's possible to achieve within the means that you have, and write a really detailed brief. You know, this is a process about sharing information with potential partners, and if you're open and honest with the agencies that you invite to come into a pitch, you've got a really clear set of objectives that you want to tick, and definitely put together a checklist of all the things that are most important to you. Then you'll be well set up for the process.
Anything else?
Yeah, I think those are the things that you need to ask yourself in terms of your own questions. The key things to identify from a potential partner's point of view are, first of all, the people that are working on your account. The most important tool in search engine marketing is people, the quality of the expertise and their experience that is going to be working on your account. So forget the pitch team who might come in, do a great presentation and then be off over the hill. Ask specifically who's going to be working on your account, what's their experience, and what kind of impact you think they're really going to make on your business. Secondly, think about technology. Technology, what kind of tools does that agency have at its disposal? Has it, for example, invested in its own technology, which sort of says something about the agency and its dedication to this particular sector? And ask for some examples of how the technology has really made a difference on clients' accounts in terms of either performance, in terms of impact, in terms of insight. So people and technology, I think, are the two key things. And then really, all of the other parts of the pitch process that a search agency will put together, for example, the client slide, really try to look behind that, ask about those clients, ask if you can speak to those clients, ask what exactly you're doing for each one of those clients on that client slide. And the same with the case studies, you know, really try to look beyond that and try and get as much information out of those case studies as possible, because it is possible to have a case study, the client has moved on elsewhere, but the agency is still riding on the back of a piece of work that perhaps it did a few years back. And so those are the main things. And there are other things that you should think of in terms of the commercials. Really look at the contract, look at other things that the agency might bring to the party in terms of specialisms in related areas. Maybe it's social media, maybe it's mobile search, some things that really make that agency, like anything, a suitable partner for you. And I think if you kind of follow those tips, you're open and honest with all of those potential prospects, you know, you'll give yourself a good chance of hooking up with the right agency.
And for more information, where should people go?
Well, there are a number of good resources in terms of looking for further information. So in terms of getting a list together of potential partners, you've got resources like the IAB's Search Help Center, and all these links are listed on the SES website. You've also got a list of member agencies of the Interactive Advertising Bureau. Also, the IPA has a group of search agencies that are members, again, which is a good place to start. And then the usual kind of suspects, the trade publications that are putting together different league tables and lists of vendors. Organisations in the UK like eConsultancy, who do some very good vendor guides in both SEO and in PPC.
Paul, thanks so much for talking to us.
Pleasure. Thank you.
And we're live here at SES London Day 1. Stay tuned and keep watching.